Have you ever had the feeling that history as it is presented to us doesn't really make sense, or there are some glitches in the timeline? Well, if you did, then you're going to like this video, because I'm going to show you some proof how they erased 1,000 years from history just like that. Coming up.
I'm living in a sequel where my soul has just whirled. Anywhere I am not fine. It's not my world, it's not my
It was this video that actually first started me researching this topic, and this is where I got to know about the trick they used to erase 1,000 years history. And if you want to check this out, then I highly recommend this Stage Centuries Part 1 to Part 3 by Live Creations. So I'm going to link this video in the description. So let's get into this. First of all, let's talk about Jesus. Jesus is a figure that was invented, and he have never lived. There is no proof that he lived, and there are so many contradictions in the Bible that makes this figure's life highly improbable. So if you go down on this Wikipedia article and go down to etymology, you will see that this Jesus character was a Jew and had only one name and so on. But the interesting thing I want to show to you is how it is in the original Greek, because what we have now in the New Testament is Greek. So some people say that originally it was Jew, it was Hebrew, it should have been if it was real, but since it wasn't real, I believe Greek was the original language. It was written in Greek. And this is the name that is written in Greek, which is transliterated to English as this. So this is Iesous, okay? Obviously this name has been then anglicized to Jesus, so that's another thing to keep in mind. And his title was the Anointed One, which is in Greek Christos, transliterated to English as Christos, but this is the word in Greek. Now the important thing is the first letter J, and then here I, and here it's X. So these three letters are very important, because we know that this fictional character has been used to create a timeline for us that we believe is now 2019. Okay, so we are calculating our timeline from this Gregorian calendar, and they used the life of Jesus, or the basically his birth, and from them we count our timeline, okay, from a fictional character, okay. And so we could say we are calculating our timeline from J, or from I, or from X, right? From Christ, or from Jesus, or from Iesous in the Greek. Now I want to show you another proof. Here's Blue Letter Bible, which is a Bible where you can see the Greek or the Hebrew original next to the English. And here it is Christ, Christos with the X, and Jesus is not really the one that is written in the Greek, but as you can see, it is Iesous with the I. Okay, so here's your proof. You can have a look at it. I will link these in the description of the video. Now I want to show you this guy called Abraham Ortelius, who was a creator of the first modern atlas, and it was called Theatrum Orbis Terrarium. What a great name. It is a theater of the world, basically. So this guy lived from 1527 to 1598, or 1598. Did he really? Let's check it out. So let's open Abraham Ortelius, and this is one of his map. I want to show you this. So Orbis terrarium, and I think this must be the theater. I don't speak Latin, but I think it is probably Latin. So, okay, now if you go and look at the bottom of this map, this is where the interesting thing is, because it says the date. The date is J574. It doesn't really look like a 1, does it? It really looks like a J, which is for Jesus. So basically, it wasn't 1574, it was 574, and our nice and clever and smart historians who wanted to mislead us to believe we are in 1574, they translated the J as 1, but it truly isn't. Let's look at the next one. This is his other map. Maris Pacifici, or how it is called, I don't know exactly how it is pronounced, but here is the deal at the left corner. Okay, so here's the date, I-589. Does this really look to you like a 1? It doesn't look to me like 1. It is an I. So it is 589 after Iesous, okay? Nice. Let's look at our next subject. This guy is called Levinus Hulsius. Again, these names are really difficult to pronounce, so I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing them correctly, but I'm trying my best. This guy apparently lived in 1546 and died in 1606, okay? And he was also a publisher, printer, linguist, and lexicographer, and I think he was also a cartographer. Okay, so let's look at his work. Levinus Hulsius. Let's open that folder up. And here is a map by this guy. And let's look at the year, shall we? It is now at the top. This is clearly an I, not a 1. So again, it was 598 after Iesous. Okay, so you see how they are inventing 1,000 years here? I again, and I again, and all the years here start with an I instead of a 1. No problem, let's go to the next one. This guy is called Nicolaas van Gilkerken. Sounds like a Dutch guy. And he apparently lived from 1585 to 1656. And he was a cartographer, and I think this is in Dutch, so that's why I can't even read what is written here. But I can see cartograph, and I can see the date. Okay, so let's go to his folder. And if we open up his map, then we'll see the same thing. Okay, so this is his map. I just wanted to point it to the middle. That's how it looks like. And if you go here, zoom in here, America, you will see a J499, J587, and if you go to the other side, here it's even separated. I don't want to zoom in too much because then it is too pixelated, but here you can see the J, and it's quite separate from the 632. So I mean, you can clearly see this is not a 1, right? It's clearly a J or I. Okay, so next subject is going to be August Ludwig von Schlözer. And this guy lived from 1735 to 1809. He was a German historian and he was studying Russian history. Okay, and apparently this picture was taken in 1779. So let's look at his folder. August Ludwig von Schlözer. And here's an interesting picture that I found, which is another portrait of him. But if you look at this date, you can see the eye and even a dot above the eye. So it is clearly not the one. So it is I-735, and here again I-798. So this guy lived in 736, 798. These are the dates. That is his date range, not 1700. So the one is invented, 1000 years clearly invented. Next one is Adam Olerius. This guy apparently lived from 1599 to 1671, and he was a German scholar, mathematician, geographer, and librarian. Okay, so let's look at his folder. Adam Olerius. This is from this image here from Wikipedia, and look at this. This is the guy, or who knows, maybe this is not the guy, but this is related to him. Let me check. Actually, Russian boyar from one of Adam Olerius' books. So this is one of his books, it seems. Okay, so one of his books, and if we look at this closer, we can clearly see the I here. I-656. This is not the one. This is not 1656. It is I for Iesous 656. Interesting. So let's have a look at the next subject, who is Petrus Plancius or Plancius. And he was a Dutch-Flemish astronomer, cartographer, and clergyman. He lived from 1556 to 1622. Really? Let's have a look at his folder. Petrus Plancius. Okay, so he has a nice map as well, it seems. And this is the map. And here we go. Let's look at the date. Can you see the date here? This is clearly an I. You can see the curve from top and at the bottom. This is not a 1. This is an I 594. So, yeah, that was him. Now let's look at the last subject, which is Pet Cairo. Okay, so I have his map here, but it's not very good quality, I would say. And that's why I wanted to show you this other link that I found. I'm not even sure where it was. Let me check. Yeah, here it is. So here at America we can see Anno Domini, so it's clearly about a date, and this is I-492 and I-499. But it's not really clear here, so let's have a look. This is the same map I found on BLR or raremaps.com. So I will put this in full screen, and I'm going to zoom in here, and you will see it clearly. This is not an I. This is not a 1. This is clearly an I. You can see the curve at the top and at the bottom. Again here, this is an I. I for Iesous 499. And if we get out of the full screen, we will see that this was actually published was supposed to be published in 1608 or 1628. I'm not sure why the difference here in brackets, but clearly the 17th century, and here you will see that the date is I, not 1. So clearly they have been playing mind games on us, and just like that hid 1,000 years, and for a certain reason, because if we are disconnected from our history and we believe a certain narrative, we can be manipulated. That's what I believe. But there could be other reasons, and I would be interested what your thoughts on this is. So see you on the next one.